In one of them, Bumi had said that if Halakoo Khan attacked Baghdad, the world would be destroyed, the sun would not set, the land would become barren, and he even said that if Halakoo Khan attacked Baghdad, he himself would be killed within a year. What happened to Bumi's statements and his own? Was it the wish of Abbasid Caliph Mu'tasim Birla that Muslims from all over the world would stand with him against Halakoo Khan? How did he raise his voice? And listen, who was he? In this series, we are showing you the first part of the story of Halakoo Khan and Baghdad. And in the Mongol language, Halakoo Khan means exceeding the limit. And see, Halakoo Khan kept the honor of this meaning throughout his life. He did atrocities and he did it himself. He was just 9 years old when he hunted his first prey. It was a wild goat which he hunted along with his elder brother Kublai Khan. Then, according to the Rasul there, his grandfather Genghis Khan had hunted a wild goat. Khan injured Halakoo Khan's finger with his own hands and dropped him in the hunting ground. This was a sign that now Halakoo has entered the world of hunting. After the death of Genghis Khan, the life of Halakoo Khan was passing in anonymity, but when his eldest brother Mohan became the king of the Mongols, his star also started shining. To rule the whole of Mongolia, he freed one of his brothers, Kublai Khan. When he wanted to make the Islamic world a part of his sultanate, his eyes fell on his other brother, Halakoo Khan. For this purpose, the king of Mongols made Halakoo Khan the governor of Iran and ordered him to disarm this Rami empire that had spread till Egypt. Halakoo Khan happily accepted this responsibility. On October 19, 1253, Halakoo Khan left from Karakoram, the capital of the Mongol Sultanate, with an army of 1.5 lakh. Just before the departure of the army, the king of Mongols, Halakoo Khan, was given another order. He said, "Take the trail of Genghis Khan from the banks of the Aam River to the land of Egypt. If anyone dies in front of you, be kind to him and deal with him from Delhi. But whoever needs to fight you, he had to be thrown into the netherworld on this day." Khudra surrendered to his brother's order and then set out with his friend to rule Iran. This Mongol army passed through Karakoram, Samarkand, and then Shahpur. It reached the Iranian province in 3 years. Its first target here was to attack the base of death of Halakoo Khan. Its headquarters was the fort of almost all of them. The good people were very good and were murderers. They are remembered in history by the name of Krishna Vyas. And the fort of death, as you can see, was situated in the difficult mountainous region of Al-Burj. And around it, there was a network of many big and small forts. Because of being a mountainous region, the destruction of these forts was a difficult task. But Halakoo Khan had done the difficult task of those days in 1256 in a very good way. He had come to know that the Grand Master of the Essence, Ruknuddin, was hiding in another fort near Firoz Shah al-Maut. Halakoo Khan attacked this fort with full force and arrested Grand Master Ruknuddin after finding out about the Grand Master. After the arrest of the Grand Master, it became easy to find out the rest of the people. Halakoo Khan made Ruknuddin write an order to forcibly lay down arms and sent it to all the forts of the Essence. On seeing the message of Grand Master Ruknuddin, most of them ordered to lay down arms. The Mongol army entered these forts and arrested the local population. The walls of Hisar were destroyed. But Halakoo Khan refused to lay down arms in the fort of Maut, which was the headquarters of the Essence. He attacked this fort with full force. But when the fort could not be conquered even after strictness, he was forced to make an offer to the travelers. He said that if they could come along with their wives, children, and belongings, then they would surrender. If they agreed to leave the fort, their lives would be spared. The Maharishis accepted this offer, and they managed to escape, saving their lives. But when the fort was captured and came under the control of the Mongols, Halwa started eating those recipes that he started killing criminals arrested from other games, and this number is close to 1 lakh that during the search of Lal Maut itself, the famous Samama Mahir fruit was done from there. Against the above-mentioned pussy was also recovered from there, which was kept in the captivity of Essence. Keep Tulsi as your employee. Mongols burnt countless books present in Claus Maut, but one of Halakoo Khan's employees, the famous rapper of the whole mine Adam Agni, many famous books were also saved. Grandmaster Rukneddin was sent to Mongol Darul Hukumat Karakoram, after which he was killed at the same place under unknown circumstances. With the conquest of Lal Maut, the development of senses died. Halakoo Khan's first mission was also completed. He left the Fort of Death and went to the Iranian city of Hamdan and made it his base. Now his next target was in front of him. The terrible age of Abbasid Caliphate, the organizing city of Muslims, make it a rebellion, music, and Mongol Khan was their loss to his brother. Halakoo Khan had complained that Baghdad should be attacked only if Abbasid Caliph Mu'tasim Bilot refused to accept the Mongols' demands. But there were many people in his sultanate who wanted the destruction of Baghdad. Among them were Christian people. These people wanted to gain power against Muslims in the Middle East with the help of the Mongols. Another big reason for the Christians' stand against the Mongols was that Halakoo Khan's mother and Babylon were with them. Ilkhanate Khan's wife disliked Muslims and supported the Christians against them. Therefore, the Christians had prepared such sketches of both the husband and wife in which they were shown holding a horse. Many soldiers of the Mongols had also accepted this promise. Apart from this, the Christian community of Armenia had also sent troops to help Halakoo Khan. These people had also established a small sultanate in Suresh Yahya, an area of present-day Turkey, which was also called Little Armenia. The king of this sultanate was Tom himself had appeared in the court of Mongols and had accepted their friendship, but in reality he was also looking to establish a strong rule of Christians in Turkey and Syria with the help of Mongols. It is also famous that Tom had promised them that he would attack Baghdad if needed, but this fact is not proved by most of the historical records. Therefore, it seems that there was some pressure on the enemies of Tom Khan's wife, who was close to the Christians, who was excited about the destruction of Baghdad, but their point was that Baghdad should be attacked only when the caliphs refused to accept the attack. So Halakoo Khan, as per the order of his elder brother, wrote a letter to Abbasi Free Fal Miltasing Billah in September 1257. Halakoo Khan wrote, "You must have been convinced that how the Mongols have punished the world. Stop hating us and fighting us because you are just wasting your time. You will do it. Finish the arrangements near the city and fill the blocks. You yourself come to us. Send your commander Suresh Manshah to us. If you accept our stand, then this is not our shadow sign that we will harm you. We will let you be the owner of your kingdom. But if you follow the path of birth, then be ready for a war with us. Remember, if I reach Baghdad with my army, I will throw you down from the heights of the sky. I will throw you into hell like a hare. I will not leave anyone alive in your country. If I turn your city and your kingdom into flames, then what would have happened if the MP3 files slipped from my hand?" On the contrary, he gave a narrow reply. He wrote, "Young man, your Shashi career has just started, but it seems you do not have much height to live. It has been 8 days since you have been celebrating, and you have started feeling that you have become bigger than the whole world. Do you think that you can chain a star with your military power? You are forgetting that you are a famous king who worships Allah till the end of time. Whether the fakir is young or old, he is a slave of our court and a part of our army. If you want your welfare, if you are there, then return to where you came from. But if you want to kill, then do not wish at all, and do not make excuses. I have lakhs of soldiers standing ready for that." The Caliph Halakoo, who was sending this narrow reply, his seaman was playing a double game. We met him at that place today. He was sending a message to Halakoo Khan to attack Baghdad. When Halakoo saw that the residential caliph was not getting ready on the basis of Mongols, he sent a final warning. He wrote that the moon shines only when the sun sets. This meant that the power which the caliph was talking about will be used only when the sun of the Mongols sets, and obviously this was not the case. Right now, when the caliph got this impression, he angrily made a spectacle of those who had brought the message. After dragging them in the groups to their heart's content, they were murdered. This was the Abbasid Caliph's declaration of war against Lachlan, that the preparations for the war would have started in full swing. Now Saif Ali's work, the whole fear was because he was sure that Halakoo Khan would not dare to attack the Caliph of Muslims, but when he came to know that he was really coming, he called the king in the royal palace. He asked him what would happen if we attack you. The courtier replied that if Halakoo Khan attacks, the sun will not rise, the clouds will stop raining, the land will become barren, and the army of the one who comes out to attack you will be swallowed by the winds. My mother even said that in case of an attack, Halakoo himself would die within a year. The courtier was so confident that he believed that if his plan proved wrong, he would kill him. Friends, what you heard is an incident from history, but you will be more surprised when you come to know what Khan's astrologer told you. When Halakoo Khan got the information about this attack on Potter's personal land, he told his special doctor that he would kill him. Nasiruddin Shah was also standing nearby, and he asked Rooney whether the matter is just legal, what he is saying is possible. He was surprised to know that Khan's own resume said yes, it can happen. On this answer, Halakoo Khan took the call from the hospital and got Najumi killed by declaring him a traitor. After this, Halakoo Khan looked towards Nasiruddin Tulsi, who had become Halakoo Khan's employee after leaving the fort of Al-Maut, and asked Nasiruddin Tulsi, "What do you think will happen?" Nasiruddin Tulsi understood the ways of the world more than the stars. He said, "Now, instead of Pushpa Singh Billa, Halakoo's rule will prevail. Halwa, you were happy with this behavior," and he started preparations for the war. Good luck to Ajay Music. When the Khalifa in Baghdad was not affected by these white in tears Facebook messages on Halakoo's phone, then the Mongol army's men came to his residence. He played Halakoo with the hands of the blonde brother. Khan started pleading that he should send a message to Khan through Hawa. "Then you can take as much gold as you want from me, but do not attack us." Bandits replied that now the time for sending gold is over. "I want to see you in front of me as a prisoner." Ilkhanate Khan attacked Baghdad in 1257. The strength of Ilkhanate Khan's army is estimated to be between 70,000 to 120,000. However, modern historians say that by the time he reached Baghdad, Halakoo Khan's army had grown to 3 lakhs, which included a total of 50 to 60,000 soldiers with the police. On January 18, 1258, Halakoo Khan was standing at the gate of the city of Baghdad under the control of Muslims, destroying it. This is the time of the 13th century. At that time, the Dambak was divided into 2 parts, one towards the Mashraq of the district and the other towards the middle of the district. The part was old and was built in the shape of a round circle, and, at the time we are talking about, by then the area had become heavily saturated due to floods, etc. This part was called Medina, the city of Salam Union. The other part was towards Mashur, which you can call the real city. It was bigger in size. The royal palace was here, so most of the population also lived here. It was called Rasa. At some distance from this there was also a Christian colony. On one side of this part there was a river, and on the other side, as you can see in the map, there was a 10-mile stretch. There was a long wall nearby, but this wall was not a very strong wall. It was weak, and the walls of the fort were not made of big stones but of small-sized bricks and were old. For the protection of this wall, there was a big tower, Burj Suraj Caption Tower, present on its soft corner. If only this tower was demolished, then entering the city would not have been an issue. So, for some reason, the Mongols left the city of Medina and attacked the famous city of Sassam. This attack was from 2 sides, from the front of the peace wall and from the back from the side of the river. But before the Mongols attacked the city, Freemason made a mistake that he sent 20,000 horsemen out of the city to attack the Mongols. He was deployed to fight the Mongols after crossing the fort. Instead of fighting this army, the Mongols started retreating and came to a canal which joined the waters of Tigris and Euphrates. Here the Mongol engineers were injured in a way. According to this track, when the army of Saad came close to this palace, Mangoran Juniors closed the canal and 30 dams. As soon as the dams broke, the flood of water would sweep away the army of Khalifa. The soldiers who survived the flood were killed by the Mongols and 5 horsemen were destroyed. This was news that broke the morale of the army guarding the city, but still they continued to fight. The attack of the Mongols on Baghdad was very strong. From January 28th to February 4th, continuous rain of bullets and gunpowder continued on the city. By this time, there was a great resentment in Punjab. On February 25th, that is, the next day, the Mongols attacked and captured the wall from another gate of the city. Now, they could enter the city whenever they wanted. The War of Baghdad was over and now the Khalifa had no choice but to surrender. In such a situation, the Khalifa met Mutasim and Halakoo Khan started talking, and do you know which person Halakoo Khan called in front of him first? He said, "Please tell me about that person." Najumi should be brought to the fore, who had predicted that if Halakoo attacked Baghdad, the sun would not rise. The clouds would not rain, and Halakoo Khan would also die. When Najumi was brought in front of him, Halakoo Khan first scolded him and reminded him that his father was Halakoo Khan, that you had said that if your Peshbia is proved wrong, you should be killed. Then why are you killed? And then Najumi was killed on the orders of Halakoo Khan. On February 1258, Caliph Mu'tasim Birla left the city of Baghdad with 3,000 Indian rupees. Among these people were the Imam of Syed Jij Mosque and homeless people like him. The Caliph handed himself over to Halakoo Khan without any pesh condition. Hulagu ordered the Caliph to ask his army to lay down arms. The Caliph did the same. The army of Caliph laid down arms. The Mongols arrested these soldiers and took them out of the city. They were divided into two groups and then killed one soldier each. On February 13th, the Mongols entered the city of Viaspur, which was a major part of the city's protective wall. The Mongol army kept working for weeks. It is written in the Baghdad Assist of Peace, the City of Blood, that Halakoo Khan had given license to his army to loot the honor of anyone they wanted, kill anyone they wanted, and loot anyone they wanted. If there was any amount, then only Christians and Jews were given the license. 20 lakh people lost their precious lives in this war. The corpses were so many that it became impossible to get hold of evidence. The stench had spread so much that Halakoo Khan had to put his army out of the city. During this massacre, a Mongol soldier saw 40 children drinking milk in the streets who were suffering from hunger without their parents. The Mongol soldier was convinced by this, and he freed them from this suffering forever, and we bless them. After the massacre of Kisa-Muktasar, Baghdad was set on fire. Magnificent buildings, palaces, tombs, mosques, everything was burnt to ashes. At that time in Baghdad, the world's largest library, the House of Wisdom, was the best library in the world. It had handwritten notes worth lakhs of rupees on copper plates. They had science prized in the cross, who knows what it was, but the books were burnt and thrown into the river, and the water of the district, which was earlier cleansed with the blood of Muslims, now became so dirty with the ink of the books that for 7 days the same cyan, darkness, seemed to be flowing at the feet of the ruined Baghdad like a scared person. After ruining the filmy comedy, Halakoo Khan searched for the wealth of the Khalifa. Ustad Singh Billa had hidden a lot of wealth under the ground in the Gopia chamber. When he came out himself, this chamber was filled with gold pieces up to the ceiling, each piece of which weighed about half a kilogram. Irfan had wives from every part of his body and from somewhere else, and 1,000 wives were confined to the Mongols because of the grace of wine. While Khwaja would kill with wine, after this Khalifa Mu'tasim was kept hungry and thirsty in prison for many days. Then one day Hulagu Khan brought him to the house and Khalifa asked for something to eat from the halwa. Hulagu Khan gave him a piece of gold in reply. Krishna gave this, and said this game Krishna said that no one can eat gold. On this Halakoo replied in the affirmative, when you knew this, then why did you recruit a strong army with this gold? Why did you not break the iron doors and make them peer? Why did you not try to stop me by coming across the river? Kripa replied to these things only one thing, that all this was the will of Allah. On this dispute Halakoo Khan said that now whatever will happen to you will also be the will of God. For a long time it is written in the city of Institute Blood that they were not able to decide whether Hanifa should be kept under arrest or now he will be killed, because as a result of this he was entitled to rebellion, and some such things were also famous that if Mu'tasim is killed then there might be an earthquake. So there was a call, but then Mishra Din Tulsi convinced Halakoo Khan that killing the Caliph will not break any peace, because before this many big and respected Muslim leaders had lost their lives, but no peace was gained. After this conversation, Halakoo Khan met Khalifa Mu'tasim, his elder son, and 5 loyal Khwajasaras in a village outside the city, and went to buy vegetables. There is also such a tradition in after history that, taking advantage of this, he killed Halifa with his own hands. At some places, it is also written that to make him laugh, the torch of a tower of the city was switched off, and he died of hunger and thirst in the end of February 1258. The tale of him being wrapped in a carpet and trampled under horses is also written in some books, and you are watching all these references on the screen right now. And yes, now his character is left behind. He was the Wazir. He and some other Umrah were successful in saving their lives from Halakoo Khan. In fact, he also became a part of his court. when all this was happening, but at that time no other Muslim ruler had the strength to take revenge from the Mongols for all these atrocities. But in such a situation, on hearing about the destruction of Baghdad, the blood of a big man of the Mongol dynasty itself boiled. He stood up and said that Halakoo Khan has murdered Hanifa without consulting us and has destroyed the cities under the control of Muslims. With the help of Allah, I will take revenge for the blood of the innocents. Who was this Mongol Khan, and how did he take revenge? Who was that Muslim ruler who crossed all limits to please Halakoo Khan, and who was the one who caught Halakoo Khan from the team? How did Halakoo Khan become a great personality from a dead man? We will show you all this, but Halakoo Khan was the second and last person. This is Israel's and Harad National Park, in which there is a water spring. This spring is called Jayda Dud in Arabic, which means the spring of loot. 700 years ago, this place was a part of Sham. In 1260, on the banks of this spring, a decisive battle of human glory was fought. In this battle, on one side was Halakoo Khan, who had spent all his money on Baghdad, and on the other side was the Sultanate of Islam. How did he change the course of human history in this battle? Who was that Mongol who had taken on the halal dustbin for the Muslims? I am how to increase it, and listen to Jana's story of who is Ilkhanate Khan. Today watch the second and last part of the story, music, that after the conquest of Baghdad, all the Muslim and non-Muslim rulers from Iraq to Turkey appeared in the court of Halakoo Khan and tried to prove his power. They started accepting it. In fact, there was a proper competition going on for flattery of Halakoo Khan. But the Turkish excellence, who was a very bright color, won over all. First, he presented Halakoo Khan with a pair of socks on which his own picture was made. After this, he bowed his head in front of Halakoo Khan and said, "Rura, you put your foot on this slave's head." Now, Halakoo Khan, whether he put his foot on his head or not, it is not known. But Dabong and Wanted have definitely written that the Mongol court was surprised and perplexed to see such a bad performance of flattery. Among those who were hostile to Khan, there was another Muslim governor of Bart Mushkil, Badruddin Low, whose age was more than that of a new year. When he was going to attend Ilkhanate Khan's court, his courtiers stopped him and said, "There is a danger in doing this. Badruddin said to me from Delhi that if Halakoo does anything, I will catch you by law." He came to Khan's court, and for this he had brought along with many people 2 gold earrings which were worn by the Mongols. So Halakoo accepted this gift as well. Badruddin was afraid that he will make Halakoo Khan wear these earrings with his own hands. Old Badruddin accepted this gift. Then, with trembling hands, he made Halakoo Khan wear these earrings. In a way, he had caught halwa from the eunuchs, as per his promise. Many courses, and like Badruddin, Anand also kept coming, and then he kept accepting Halakoo Khan's words. Ayubi Vikrant of Sham and Hamlogan of Egypt were not among those who came, and Saif was not among those who wished. At that time the rulers of different parts of Sham were daring. This whole area was not under the control of one of them. Salahuddin Ayyubi's great-grandson Nasiruddin Joseph was one of these powerful men who was in control of the region from Ramesh and Ali Point. It is still said that it used to rule over it when the Mamluk dynasty was ruling Egypt and their ruler was Safuddin. We had shown you in the previous video that the elder brother of Halakoo Khan had taken it to the farm of Mang that we should end the reign of Genghis Khan from here to Egypt. So, under this campaign, now Halakoo Khan wanted to conquer China and Egypt at any cost. After conquering Baghdad, Halakoo Khan went to Azerbaijan. The part of Father John which is included in Iran at present, there Halakoo Khan made the cities of Tabriz and Mora village his headquarters. The Zira which you are seeing surrounded by some mountains is the largest Zira of Iran's famous Lake Urmian. It was once called Zira like this, and nowadays it is called Zira Islamic. Halakoo built a fort on it. A large part of the wealth looted from Baghdad was invested in this fort. Now, by making Azerbaijan as the base, Halakoo Khan had started preparing for a war against Syria and Egypt. For this purpose, he prepared 120,000 soldiers. Apart from Turks, Armenians and Georgians were also included in these soldiers. At the end of 1259, Halakoo Khan left Anzal and headed towards Syria via Turkey. In those days, Israel and Palestine, which were also part of Syria, were also part of Syria. Halakoo Khan wanted that his army should reach there before his entry into Syria, and then it happened. A person from Ayyubi family, Alka Mil Vikrant, attacked Khan's army at a small fort situated near the beautiful lake of Lake Warren in Turkey. Khan's army advanced towards this fort and fought with it, but, of course, he was defeated. The Mongols captured him alive and then forced him to cut off parts of his own body and eat them. But soon after taking the life of the governor, the Mongols also killed all the Muslims there. After this, Halakoo Khan rapidly advanced towards the Shami city. This city was also the stronghold of Nasir-ud-Din Utsav. In January 1260, Shahrukh Khan arrived in front of the rulers with his army. Nasir-ud-Din had already left the city and gone to Shami before Halakoo Khan's arrival. The residents of the city kept Ilkhanate Khan out of the city for a week, but failed. Then when the Mongols entered the city, the guards took position in a fort-like building inside the city and kept fighting against the Mongols, but by February 25, 1260, India also came under the control of the Mongols. Then the Mongol army drank the blood of Muslims in Aleppo. Georgian soldiers included in the Mongol army destroyed the Jamia Mosque of Aleppo without the orders of Halakoo Khan, and most of the Muslims of the city were killed. Music. After Aleppo, the next target of Halakoo Khan was the religious place. Nasir-ud-Din Salahuddin Ayyubi had collected a lot of forms here to fight against Halakoo Khan, but the problem was that the grandson of Nasir-ud-Din Salahuddin Ayyubi had lost courage himself. He felt that he could not fight the Mongols. His commanders wanted to fight the Juman whites. He left it and started going towards Egypt, another Muslim sultanate. Among them was one commander Brash, who was restless to fight the Mongols, reached Egypt and started fighting with the people there. Mamun joined Sultan Salahuddin's army. Nasir-ud-Din was left alone now. He also left for Egypt to save his life, but the robbers did not let him enter Egypt because Nasir-ud-Din belonged to a royal family. Shahrukh Khan had ruled over it. So they were afraid that Nasir-ud-Din should not take over Egypt and create new areas and create problems for their rule. Actually, all the Ahmats of that time were formed and broken on the basis of power. So decisions were also taken mostly on the basis of half or feeling of effigy, and it was the same in the whole world. No one would take revenge on someone. No matter what happened, friends, after the absence of Nasir-ud-Din and the departure of the commander, the Mongols very easily captured Damascus. The governor of Damascus was beheaded, while the governors of many cities, including Hamsar Hamara, surrendered before the Mongols without any fight. Now the Sultanate of Nasir-ud-Din Utsav was over, and he was roaming around in different areas of Syria, and soon he was caught by the Mongols while returning from one place, and was sent to Halakoo Khan, where he remained till his death. Now the rule of Mongols had ended in most parts of Syria. Mongols advanced and reached Ras Sina from Egypt. Mongols had also deployed their army in Gaza. However, surprisingly, the Mongol army did not enter Baitul Maqdis. Similarly, Mongols did not attack the cities of Israel and Lebanon, and at that time, their rule over these cities was also not known. Seeing Ishvar Dutt's advancement for Halakoo Khan, it seemed that Mongols would soon conquer Egypt as well. But the end of the war was going to be the last limit of his struggle, because suddenly such a news reached here which ruined the plans of Halakoo Khan and changed the course of history and established the right of Mongols by influencing us. Just as today, on the occasion, Horn has gone into the lap of death while conquering the Sultanate of South China, while for his life, a war has started between Halakoo Khan's brothers Kublai Khan and his guardian. The sudden death of Mantra Khan and the Battle of Jan Shuni troubled Halakoo Khan. He stopped the plan of attack on Egypt, Nafufa, due to the fever of his commander, took a loan of 20,000 rupees, and he himself lost his life along with the rest of the army. He was helping Kublai Khan in the Battle of Galati Khan and Bud, but he himself went to help Ulugh Khan with his army. He did not go but stayed in Azerbaijan and kept an eye on one of his relatives, Halakoo Khan, who could become a threat to both his relative and Kublai Khan at any time. This Mongol was a descendant of Genghis Khan's son Suchi Khan, and his name was Khan of Mongol. This part of the Sultanate where he ruled was called Golden Heart. Now in the battle between Ulugh Khan and Hrithik Bahu, where Halakoo was supporting Kublai Khan, then the world of work was Green Book. Therefore, during the war of Kublai Khan and Rebok, Halakoo Khan had to be stopped in Azerbaijan for 4 years so that the hands of the army could be prevented from going against Khan himself, and for this reason Halakoo was available on the phone at 7 p.m., and that jersey was very costly for the Mongols. Halakoo Khan had temporarily retired from the throne of Egypt, but his desire to subjugate Egypt did not end, so he continued his journey with his traveler. Send them to the court of the kings and order them to confess their case. The famous Egyptian Sultan Saifuddin horse was a horse, but was not a coward at all. He thought it better to die fighting than to wear the yoke of slavery of those people. He got the Mughal soldiers killed. Knew Saifuddin had come to force him to be ready. Shahabuddin knew that after the killing of the Safavids, now open war with the Mongols will start. But Halakoo Khan could not leave Azerbaijan right now. Therefore, Saifuddin did not let this opportunity go and took the initiative in the war. In July 1260, Saifuddin's army, whose number was between 15 to 20,000, set out from Raisina in the evening. First of all, Baksh Lungi Chhatrvedi attacked the Mongol military base in Gaza and destroyed it. As soon as the news of their small success reached the diminished, the citizens there rose up against the Mongols, but in the evening Halakoo was killed. The opportunity was also tremendous. This Mahout laughed a little faster than this. After this, he moved forward to fight Saifuddin. Halakoo Khan's army included a large number of Christians, but on this occasion, the Christian smuts present on the shore of Sham did not support the Mongols. Mamluk Sultan Safir supported him. He gave Saifuddin a way to reach Anan Lut and also maintained the supply line of food and water on the way. The Mongol and Mongol forces faced each other on the campaign of Ezra Aluid, which is now a part of this battle, and you can see that in comparison to the 15 to 20,000 army of the Mongols, the Qaidi Khan also had 10 to 20,000 more. That is, this army was almost equal to the Mongols in number. There was not much difference. It is also said that the Mongols were more in number, but most of their army was not as trained as the Mongols, but the Mongols had an advantage. They had a commander who was well aware of the battlefield. This commander did all the planning of the war with the advice of General Saifuddin. This happened for the first time in Tarif that the trap of the Mongols had trapped them. Veridlal. Ki-A music. On September 13, 1260, a fight started between the two friends. Vrikshaw used the strategy of the Mongols against them. He hid a large part of his army in the nearby mountains. With a small army of Rishabhakar riders, he went to fight the Mongols. These riders kept their bodies busy by running horses here and there in the battlefield for many hours. When the Mongol army got tired, the rebels pretended to run away from the battlefield. Both of us immediately caught the fleeing army, so that as soon as they reached near the mountains, the army of warriors hidden there attacked them. But the Mongols were no less than anyone. They fought very well despite being surrounded. Even the 500 votes of the MLA's birth could have turned in their favor. But on this occasion, Sultan Saifuddin threw off his last helmet and then challenged the soldiers and said, "Move forward for the sake of Islam." Hearing this, the courage of the soldiers increased, and they again started fighting fiercely. Then they also started fighting with swords. Apart from this, we also used a small one called Manpralat. It did not cause much loss of life, but it would trap the Mongols' horses. The Mongols' horses would get frightened by its blasts. That decisive battle was going on when one of the most important commanders of the Mongols, Bakwa, was killed by the Muslims. It is also said that he was taken prisoner in the battlefield, and at that time, he had said to Bakwa that Halakoo Khan will definitely take revenge for my defeat. On this, they beheaded him. Anyway, whatever be the reason for the death, when the corpse of the commander fell on the ground, the back of the Mongol army was broken. They ran away from the battlefield. The Muslims defeated the Mongols with a formula. This was the decisive August of the date. After this, the Mongols could stay in the evening and the entire area up to Alipur when Halakoo Khan found the death of an unsuitable and useless person after slipping out of his hands once again. He got angry and started fighting, but now he could not leave Baijan there because the Battle of Kurlai Horn for Red Book was just beginning. So to take revenge of his defeat in that, he sent an army of 6,000 Mongols to Sham. In this battle, he captured Ali again and killed the remaining Muslims there as well. But when this army finally reached near it, on December 10, 1260, an army of about 2,000 Muslims attacked the Mongols. Krishna Kasate Fast and the other Pradeshtha stopped the advance of Halakoo Khan and the Mongols forever. After this, Halakoo Khan did not attack here again. The control of the Mongols over Sham extended up to the areas on the banks of the famous river Ganges. By taking control of the rest of the Mamluks, this river which you are seeing, Ganga Fast, had become the border between the Mongols and the Sultanate of Mamluk. Halakoo Khan in Sham, after his second defeat, Ayyubi Horn, who was in his captivity, killed all of them, including Nasir-Din, the great-grandson of his last ruler Salahuddin Ayyubi. But the defeat in Sham was not the last battle of Halakoo Khan. He still had to face the battle of Wheat against Golden Heart. But Khan was the same Mongol who had accepted Islam and who had said that Halakoo Khan had destroyed the Muslims and killed the Caliph without consulting his relatives. He had promised himself that he would take revenge for the blood of the innocents with the help of Allah. Now, on one hand, Kublai Khan and Uzbek were fighting in Mongolia, and on the other hand, a war had also started between Halakoo Khan and Bar. Earlier, small clashes kept taking place on the border of Golden Heart and Halakoo Khan's sultanate. Halakoo Khan was already troubled by the defeat in Sham, so to relieve himself of the remorse of his army, he started an open war against Farhan, and with a large army. In 1262, Garv entered the Sultanate of Barkat Khan in Golden Heart. In 1622, Berkhorn also came out with his army, and a series of battles started between these two big Mongol armies. In the first battle, which resulted in the destruction of the army of Ilkhanate Khan, but then he quickly gathered his army again, and in two battles, forced Farhan to retreat. On this occasion, Halakoo Khan started feeling that he was winning this war. He sent his son Hawa Khan to the army of Barkat Khan. Abba Khan crossed the Vratna with his army. This river originates from Georgia and also flows through Russian areas. Castor oil is the medicine of their union. While crossing this river, the water of the river had dried up due to snowfall, so the Mongols crossed it on foot. But after crossing the river, instead of doing anything to the enemy, they camped there. Here the Mongols feasted for 3 days. During this, the spies of Barkat Khan were on the lookout for the enemies. They kept an eye on the situation, and on the 4th day Burkha suddenly attacked with his army. It was January 13th, 1263. Burkha's attack was so sudden that Abba's army left their camp and ran away and tried to make various attempts to escape in the chaos, but the frozen surface of the river, which had not been able to move when they crossed the river for the first time, could not bear the load of thousands of running feet, and thousands of Mongol soldiers broke down and fell into the icy water, and their bodies remained cold forever. It was a big loss for Halakoo. He ended the war against Burkha and returned to Azerbaijan. He had lost the Battle of Problem Sham and now Golden Heart, but he soon got a good news that in 1264, the decision for the new ruler of the Mongol Sultanate was taken. Every ruler had become the ruler of his elder brother Kublai Khan, and now Kublai Khan was the ruler of the entire Mongol Sultanate. This halwa was also hidden in the food. In 1264, he appointed a separate and large group of Altai-i Mongols, giving the title of Lukhan to this plant. He also named his sultanate as Milan Sultanate. The meaning of Lukhan is mother and obedient hand. Through this title, he was giving the message to Ulugh Khan that he should find his obedient and remain obedient to his uncle Jala. His sultanate spread across Central Asia from here to Turkey. It was spread over a large part of Afghanistan and Pakistan's Balochistan as well, but Halakoo Khan could barely survive for a year after becoming the ruler of this sultanate. It is said that he became too cruel at the time of his death. Very little is known about his death. He fell ill in early January 1265 and died in February this year at the age of just 47. He was buried in the same fort at Jira Shahi Jira Islamic, where the looted Kasana from Baghdad was kept. His treasure and 40 live girls were also buried with him, but today there is no trace of his grave and that treasure, and his news is not discovered. The Lakhani Sultanate could barely survive for 70 years after his death. This sultanate ended in 1335, and many small sultanates came into existence in its place. Hello friends, listen to me in Janu. You see stories of infinite sultanates of history, stories of famous heroes, But have you ever noticed that why we humans are more attracted towards wild heroes? Why their stories are more popular, and why those people who lose their lives in trying to stop the riots get lost in building bridges of praise? Friends, your opinion is very important for us. Do write to us in the comments. So friends, if after that Ilkhanate Khan, you want to see the tremendous and extremely interesting biography of Genghis Khan, you should click on this playlist. See this, the story of Sultan Salahuddin Ayyubi, the water of Sultanate. Then know the story of that Sionri who wants to become the sun in the system.